Yo, what's up, people? I've kind of wanted to do this for a while, so I'm making a video showing off my VHS collection. I've kind of been accruing it for about 6 years now, maybe a little longer, and I have some cool stuff. So, I thought it'd be fun to kind of show this off. So I have basically three main bunches of movies. This first one I acquired at a garage sale. These alien ones are kind of dinged up. And basically, this was what started it off. Is back in 2016 or 17. I went to a garage sale, and the guy was selling VHS tapes, 15 for $1, and I thought that was such a good deal that I was like, well, shit, man, I'm just gonna get a bunch of, like, kind of classic movies that I've never heard of, or not never heard of, classic movies that I've, heard of, but I've never really gotten around to seeing. So I have, Back to the Future, the Alien trilogy, this copy of Blade Runner, which I, heard for a long time was the greatest movie, one of the greatest sci-fi movies ever, and then I, had people tell me which one to watch, and I made a note to myself that this is not the one that I should be watching when I watch Blade Runner, because it's the theatrical cut. And everyone kind of, you can have people talk to you about that all the time. Some of the ones I have are sealed in plastic, and I never watch them, because it's like, I don't know, I kind of think it's cool to keep them wrapped. I also just have not got around to watching Braveheart in general. So over here we have the Lord of the Rings trilogy. The Fellowship of the Ring one is the special, it's widescreen, and it's also the extended edition with all the bonus scenes and stuff. The Two Towers and the Return of the King one are normal, of course. I'd like to find the extended ones if I could. Yeah, Dude, Where's My Car? I don't know if I got that at a garage sale. A newer version of Return of the Jedi, Goodfellas, Men in Black 1 and 2, Rush Hour 2. And then over here we have the Lethal Weapon trilogy, Attack of the Clones, the Indiana Jones trilogy, which I'm very excited about, Spaceballs, which I had that from when I was a kid. I used to watch it all the time. And now we kind of move into this box, and I have some really cool old stuff in here. Number one this is probably the cream of the crop. It's probably, in my opinion, the coolest ones I own. So these are, for those of you wondering, these are Star Wars movies, obviously the original trilogy, but they are the original home video release, which means there's no CGI, no, after-the-fact Lucas stuff. These are kind of the original releases. And it's, it is, in my opinion, it's a great way to watch it, which is why I have it. And I think they might be hard to come by. I'm not really sure. I got the Jurassic Park trilogy down there. Plastic-wrapped copy of Shark Boy and Lava Girl, though I have not gotten around to watching. And, who knows when that'll be. Up here on the first row, we have Groundhog Day, Jimmy Neutron. This unmarked one is Space Jam, I believe. Yeah, Space Jam. And then I have a bunch of old Godzilla movies. So King of Monsters, Mechagodzilla, Godzilla's Revenge, Transformers the movie. I'm a pretty big Transformers fan. I actually got this at a vintage comic shop for $15 or whatever. But I figured, that's probably the most I've paid for a single VHS tape. As I mentioned, I got the other ones 15 for $1. But I figured it was a cool enough thing. I might have got ripped off a little bit, honestly. Fast and Furious are some of my favorite movies, and this is kind of where it started. I was like, oh man, these are cool car racing movies, I should check them out. I don't know why it says special edition. I don't know if there's anything actually special on here. No, I think there might be a deleted scene or something, which is cool. But I watched these once on VHS, and then I saw the trailer for Fate of the Furious, which had a submarine shooting torpedoes going across the ice, and I was like, what's going on here? So I basically went out and watched the rest of them, and I'm like, okay, these are awesome. Matrix, Spider-Man, Master and Commander, Usual Suspects, Ocean's 11. Yeah, a lot of kind of big, cool movies, some old war movies, Bridge on River Kwai, Gangs in New York. A lot of these, I've really haven't seen, or seen in, like, a long time. Like, maybe I saw them as a kid. I think I saw the Dawn of the Dead when I was young. Let me show off something. Hot Wheels World Race is probably the movie I've watched the most. Maybe not ever, but of all my VHSs, I used to watch this all the time. And you can't really tell, but it has, like, a cool holographic front. And this was, like, this was a classic as a kid. So now over here, I have movies that I've kind of acquired, like, I guess piecemeal, you could say, over the last, 2 years. And most of these were gotten at thrift stores or a couple other random places. But so on this side we have Ninja Turtles movie, Steven Seagal's The Patriot, Mad Max 2, The Fugitive, The Searchers. I watched that for a class one time. Pretty cool cowboy movie. The special limited edition Saving Private Ryan. I don't know what makes it special, I'll be honest. Kung Pao and Spawn, I got at a garage sale. I didn't know they made VHS for Kung Pao. I mean, I guess it makes sense, but I thought it was cool and I picked it up. Reservoir Dogs, to me, that's, like, a great movie to watch on VHS, because it's, like, kind of indie, kind of old to it, has this, like, old retro vibe to it. Dirty Harry, Fantasy Mission Force, which is if you guys don't know what it is, it's like an old Jackie Chan movie that was sitting in my attic for a very long time, and, like, my dad isn't particularly, or either of my parents aren't really particularly into these kind of movies, so I don't know why it was up there, but it seems cool, and after I watched a couple Jackie Chan movies, I really want to watch more. Austin Powers, and then this is a kind of sun-damaged copy of a Blink-182 home video that has a bunch of music videos on it, behind-the-scenes stuff, and I paid, I think, like $12 for it or something. And my sister was like, I have a DVD of that. I'm like, well, yeah, but the VHS is cool. So down here we have The Karate Kid, Castle in the Sky, which I think is really cool, having a Ghibli film on VHS. Don't remember where I got that, but I'm pretty happy with it. An old Captain America cartoon, a Dragon Ball Z movie that I've had for a pretty long time, I think. I definitely got that a long time ago when I was in, like, high school or something. Steven Seagal, Punch Drunk Love. For a long time, people said that was, like, the best Adam Sandler movie. Until Uncut Gems, I think. Now it's a little more up for debate. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Shawshank, love that movie. Mission Impossible. And we have a very funny trilogy here of Ocean's 11, Shrek 2, and The Godfather. When I was on vacation in Delaware, I got these 3 movies at a thrift store, and I think it's such a funny combo of, like, dumb kids movie, heist movie, and, like, critically acclaimed amazing movie. Yeah, I don't know. It's just very funny to me that I bought all of them in one transaction, kind of nowhere. Big Daddy, I don't remember where. I think I got this at a thrift store or something. I know it's on a movie list that some friends made, and I'll probably be watching it at some point. And the last kind of one that I'll look at right now is Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase, which, for the people who don't know very well, Scooby-Doo had a bunch of early 2000s movies. There were 4, I think. There was Zombie Island, the UFO one, this one, and maybe one more. And basically, they do a Sword Art Online or a Code Lyoko or whatever you want to call it, where they go inside a computer and this evil guy, computer virus, manifestation of a computer virus, chases them around a video game that's based off the Scooby-Doo adventures. And I remember loving it as a kid. I think any episode of any TV show where they go inside a video game, I loved as a kid when I was like, 6, 7, or 10. And I think people maybe don't like this one that much compared to the other ones, but I found it not too long ago. I think a garage sale, and I was like, well, I gotta get this. And I love these old blister cases too. These are always very cool. They don't fit on the shelf perfectly next to the ones that aren't in blister cases, but I don't really mind. So I guess that's all the cool stuff up here. I have, the main event, like I said, we'll get to in just a second. Got Lilo and Stitch, which is probably one of my favorite Disney movies. I watched it all the time as a kid, and I still really like it. A couple Steven Seagal movies. I like that they're kind of the same case, just with the different logos. And here's a third one that doesn't have the logo. Oh well. Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. Another cowboy movie I watched segments of for a college class. We got Who Framed Roger Rabbit in pretty poor condition, unfortunately. Like Mike. And then I think these next couple, I think Happy Gilmore and Rain Man I got at a garage sale. I just showed up with a big pile of DVDs and then also those 2 tapes and was like, hey, can I get these for $5? And they were like, yeah, sure, why not? Speed, kind of another quintessential 90s action movie that I had been wanting to get my hands on for a while. I got that from a thrift store, and I am on the lookout for Speed 2, because I've heard it's a very kind of goofy sequel. Next up is Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within. I know nothing about Final Fantasy. I have some friends who play, some of the games. And I saw it's, an animated movie. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I don't know anything about this. I'm gonna just buy it on a whim. So I asked my friends, I'm like, do you guys know anything about this? And my friend literally just said, I think that's one of the worst Final Fantasy animated things literally ever. And I'm like, oh, cool. But, I don't know. It seems kind of like a weird little unique thing, and that's what I like. Damn, I don't know if I'm getting that back on the shelf with one hand. I got The Transporter, Mission Impossible 2, The Sting, Above the Law. Some of these I've already seen, like The Sting I saw for a fucking movie club. Really like that. Above the Law, once again, it has the same case as the other Seagal movies. Monty Python, Meaning of Life. Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2 belonged to my dad. He really liked those kind of old Sam Raimi movies. Not really too into horror stuff, I think. Speaking of my dad, you'll see where I got my love for VHSs from. Basically, I found these not too long ago, which are him recording the Super Bowls that the Giants and Bills were in, and it's a cool kind of way to revisit those old Super Bowls, other than watching YouTube highlights. And the other thing is in this chest, which is, if you guys have ever heard of the show Mystery Science Theater 3000, some of you might just recognize the visual of the 3 silhouettes at a theater making fun of a movie. I think that's been, parodied a couple times in popular media. But basically, it was a show on Comedy Central that ran for a pretty long time. And my dad was a fervent fan of it. He would record everything on VHS tapes and kind of just save them for later. And I guess the community would circulate the tapes in between each other, and this is way back in the 90s. It's a cool thing, and basically a lot of it came to streaming and kind of became easier to find generally. So my dad was like, hey, you can have my VHS collection of all of these, and you can see there's 2 layers, so there's a lot of them. And I used to watch these a lot as a kid, which definitely shaped my sense of humor, I would say, a good bit. Alright, so now on to the main event. For you guys who are Melee heads, I am surrounded by CRTs right now, so this will be a fun little bonus for everyone who's in the Melee and watching my videos. Try to count how many that are in here, because there's quite a lot. And now we're on to the main event. We start here with the A's. Alright, so we got everything here. We got Airport 77, we got Buffalo 66. we even start with the numbers. I have number entries. So this is the main collection that I purchased, 174, I think, for $5. So the story goes is, by the way, I'll start showing off some of my things. We got Space Odyssey, very cool. I actually have not seen this movie yet. I've only read the book, and the book was really good, so I'm excited to check it out. And I really like, I like some Kubrick stuff that I've seen, so I'm excited. I like this collection because it gives me not only like very popular shit like Apocalypse Now, 2001, but like a lot of like movies I've kind of just never heard of, like Airport 77, The Abyss. Yeah, what is this movie about? It's, underwater. It's yeah, it's James Cameron. Good old James Cameron still likes the water. Some things never change. Where did this go? There we go. Okay. Got Armageddon, Article 99, as good as it gets. I don't know what that movie's about, but it's got a picture of Jack Nicholson with a dog. So, I don't know. That dog has no idea what's going on. I'll tell you that much. I got Asteroid, which is very funny that Asteroid and Armageddon came out around the same time. It's like Ants and Bugs Life, which I think I have those movies somewhere too. Maybe not. Maybe not actually. I got the Bible. This Blair Witch Project. This blockbuster. It's not like a movie, but it's like about, what is this, magic? Oh yeah, it's about magic. That's crazy. Yeah, so sadly, I have a Letterboxd list of all these movies, and I'll link that in the description. But a lot of these aren't movies, and therefore are not on Letterboxd. So it's like, Children's Magic VHS is not on Letterboxd, which, I'd love if it was, but unfortunately it's not. I got Blue Lagoon, Braddock, which is an old Chuck Norris movie, which I think when I was a kid, for so many years, I only knew Chuck Norris from fucking memes. How Chuck Norris is, cool, or whatever. Alright, so that's the A's and some of the B's. And we move over here to the B's and a couple other things. We got Buffalo 66, Buzz Lightyear of Star Command, Cable Guy, Casino, Con Air, The Client, Conspiracy Theory, Contact, Day the Earth Stood Still, Dances with Wolves. We got Dead Man Walkin', Deer Hunter. A friend of mine told me that's really good, so I definitely want to check that out. I got Deep Impact, which I think is another asteroid movie, right? That's crazy that people are so up on asteroids. Shit, I don't know. We got Devil's Advocate, classic fucking Keanu. Keanu had such a run in the 90s, man. It's cool he's back. Disclosure, yeah, a lot of these movies I've just never ever heard of, which I'm like, I don't know, it's cool having all this stuff that I was never like I never would have gotten into it anyways. Whoever owned this collection was like a pretty decent Elvis fan, because there's a couple Elvis movies, right? 1, 2, 3. I don't even know if they're movies. Elvis feature presentations. I got End of the World, Enemy of the State, Executive Decision. Yeah, some cool action movies and stuff. Alright, where do we go from here? Over here to another big chunk. We got 2 F movies, Fair Game and Face Off. And then kind of overlaid here is a big old selection of stuff. We got Field of Dreams, Flatliners, Forrest Gump, Gladiator, Gordy, once again, more things that are not on Letterboxd. The not-so-great moments in sports. It's a bunch of bloopers? Yeah, a mishap, misdemeanors, misunderstandings, misdirection. Yeah, it's less than an hour, and I'm sure it's a thrilling ride the whole way through. Green Mile, Grease and Grease 2, Greatest Story Ever Told, Private Parts, Independence Day. Yeah, just a lot of kind of weird stuff. What's Iron Eagle? I have no idea what this is. Lou Gossett Jr., Iron Eagle 4, Back on the Attack. Recruits fighter pilot to teach flight school for teens in trouble with the law. Wait, what? Is this Fight Club for fucking kids who shoplift? Did I say Fight Club? I mean Top Gun. Oh my god. That's weird. I've never heard of that shit. The Jaws trilogy. I got the anniversary collector's edition of Jaws, and then Jaws 2 and 3. I got Jerry Maguire. The Lost World collector's edition. Karate Kid Part 2, La Bamba, Lady and the Tramp, Lion King, Looking for Mr. Goodbar, never heard of that. Okay, on to this stuff. Fantastic Hockey Fights. I do really want to bust this out. I think the collector's card is missing, unfortunately. And I think that, yeah, the runtime's only a half hour. I can only imagine the kind of person who bought that back in the day, like, well, I don't actually care about hockey. I just want to see some dudes throw hands. And now you don't have to wait. You can just kind of... There's no guesswork involved, I guess. Missing in Action, which I think is the subtitle of that Braddock movie. I think Braddock's the name of the character. Mission Impossible, if you notice, I already have a copy of it, and that's because I forgot that I had this down here. Mission to Mars. Get those boys out of here. Got Nixon, Noah's Ark, Nutty Professor, Patton, Phenomenon, The Play, The Field of the Lord, never heard of that. Postman, Rebel Without a Cause, Return to Oz, River of No Return, never heard of that. Roadhouse, I think that was quoted on Family Guy a lot. The Rock, this Route 66, like, I don't even know. I guess it's like a kind of documentary type thing, just about, I don't know, just about fun stuff on Route 66. My dad would probably like that. Alright, now on to the S's and beyond. Okay, so we got Sliding Doors, The 7-Year Itch, and then Smokey and the Bandit. Smokey and the Bandit is where this all starts. So, Smokey and the Bandit, for those of you guys who don't know, is a movie with a very, how do I put this? Simple plot. Basically, Burt Reynolds is a trucker who has to deliver a truckload of Coors beer in 28 hours. And there's like a sheriff trying to stop him, and then there's like a runaway bride. I don't know. I've never seen the movie, as you can probably tell. But I found out about this movie somehow. The internet, probably, at some point. And I thought it was just such a silly idea for a movie. I'm like, oh, that's funny. So I just like threw it on my Letterboxd wish list and kind of forgot about it. And until then, you know, I didn't think about it much. So I went to a garage sale one time with my sister, and they were basically... Starship Troopers is very cool. I can't wait to watch that. She was bargaining with the guy running the garage sale for a PlayStation 2. And I kind of wandered off. People vs. Larry Flint, Thelma and Louise, Thumbelina. And basically, I was wandering off, and I saw this big box of VHS tapes. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And I noticed Smokey and the Bandit was in there. I'm like, oh, well, maybe I should pick that up. Like maybe I can just like grab a VHS tape or two. And the guy notices me looking, and he's like, hey man, you want some? And I'm like, yeah, like maybe I'll grab a couple. He's like, tell you what, man, give you the whole box for $5. I'm like, I mean, there's a lot of tapes in there. And he's like, yeah, it's a good deal. I'm like, I guess, shit. So like, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, fuck it, why not? So I hand the guy $5. It's probably lucky for him that I even had the $5 on me. Got home, counted them all out, and, yeah, 174. So, like, averaged out to something stupid, like 4 cents a tape. and I spent the whole afternoon organizing them, like making a list, and it was pretty crazy. But, you know, I got all these cool, weird movies. I can't wait to go through and watch more of them. Yeah, I mean, it's not that interesting of a story, honestly, but yeah, sometimes you just need to find someone at a garage sale desperate enough to get rid of their whole collection. You can, you know, you can get them real cheap. So anyways, back to the list. I got Thelma and Louise, this Titanic, a couple Titanic documentaries, I guess. National Geographic. I wouldn't be surprised if James Cameron's name is on this somewhere. It doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like it. Let's see here. We got The Titanic, of course. Tin Cup. You know, maybe someone probably saw Titanic and they're like, wow, I am interested in this boat. So they just, like, bought the other ones. We got Tin Cup, Tora, Toy Story 1 and 2. This whole, like, edition of... Oh, do I have these facing the wrong way? I think I do. Oh well. Of UFO VHS tapes. And I have not watched those because UFOs scared me a lot when I was a kid. And I'm in no rush to revisit those feelings. Got Selena tapes. I think one's a movie and then one's like a remembering her. Oh man, my legs are starting to cramp up. I am crouched in a very awkward way. Alright, so we have the Star Wars Trilogy Special Edition, digitally mastered and all that shit. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of the antithesis to those originals that I showed earlier. They are, you know, up to snuff, and they also come in a cool gold case. So, while I might not watch those as my first choice, I think they're cool. Why are these over here? These are... Oh, is this like a... Oh, it's a double. I don't know why those are over there instead. I think I was just running out of space, and I was like, I need to get these in here. We got Twister, I almost call it Toaster. Vietnam Home Movies. It's just like, what is this? True story of Major Alfred D'Amelio, The Smiling Tigers. Powerful personal documentary. Yep, cool. I got, ooh, they list all his awards in the bottom. That's a flex. Shit, man, I believe you. Alright, well, we got better shit to worry about. We got another Vietnam documentary. Volcano. Man, they love disaster movies in the 90s. I guess it's easy to set the stakes when there's just a volcano. You don't have to write a villain. You just write volcano and just kind of underline that a couple times at the in the script. You got War Games. When I was 14, I read Ready Player One. Thought it was really cool. So it's only fate that I would find a War Games tape and be like, man, I gotta watch this. Not one, but 2 copies of Waterworld. I don't really know who would own 2 copies of the same movie. But now I'm the person who owns 2 copies of the same movie, so fuck me, I guess. What Dreams May Come True. Another Alien documentary, narrated by Orson Welles. We got, Why Vietnam? Yeah, I'm wondering the same thing, bro. Wizard of Oz. What the fuck is this? Woodcrafting for fun and profit. Yeah, I mean, once again, the kind of stuff that is not on Letterboxd. And a whole World War II documentary set. All 7 tapes. At least I hope it's, you know, this is the full thing. But, yeah, one of these days I'll have to pop those in or something while I'm in a historical mood. So that's basically everything. I don't think I've really missed anything. Maybe I'll make an update video at some point. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. I probably won't put these all on the shelf in one video. Maybe I'll do that at some other time. But, yeah, I don't know, I had a fun time kind of going through all these things, remembering where I bought them all and everything, and I hope you guys had a fun time checking out my collection. I'll see you next time. Thank you for checking me out. I feel like I'm repeating myself. Drop a like if you liked the video, and tell me what the favorite video in my collection is. Your favorite video in my collection is. And until next time.